Look, if you want to be a $5 to $10 million company, you got to act like one. Thankfully, today, my friend Danny Clark shares how when he implemented processes throughout his company, he was able to scale and grow it exponentially. When was that a necessity for you to have processes?
It should have been a necessity from day one.
From the beginning. Yeah, no, I'm with you.
So, I mean, that's why I said earlier, like, everybody says this, if I knew what I know today, 20 years ago, I'd be so much better. But if I, as a business owner, like not as a person, but as a business owner, if I had all the tools and I believed in those tools like I do today, you know, the first year, you know, it would have been light years ahead and just, I don't even know where it would have been. Right? I know we would have been different than where we are today, just from so long of putting those processes together. But whether it's giving up a process to the person that answers the phone, so they know how to, hello, thanks for calling Clark Electric, you know, good afternoon, good morning, or whatever you want to put in there. It's the same. Your customers, they value that, you know, that routine. They know who they're going to get. Like, having them know how to transfer that and who to transfer it to, you know, makes them a better employee for you, makes them feel comfortable in what they're doing, that they're just not trying to figure things out as they go. And I think I did that for a long time. Is I hired people, but I had nothing for them. I had no platform for them. I just had a door for them to open and a desk to sit at. I didn't know, you know, how to run a project financially with all the procedures and all that. So, you know, having those processes for everything you do. I would say right now, if you had 100 processes to run a business, we've got 85 of them. And that's pretty good. I think that's really good.
It's a never ending, it's an ongoing tweaking.
And I'll add some, and I'll work on, and I'll change the ones we have, existing ones. I'm a firm believer in getting something. It's just like starting a business. Get it going, start it. Just, you'll figure it out as you go. Don't wait till it's perfect. Don't wait for that process to be perfect. Don't fix it every single time you touch it. Just use it, right? Make it simple. Start it simple. It might get complex over time, but as you use it, you're going to tweak it in different ways for what works for you and for the person using it, you know, and for the client.
But you got to start.
You have to start.
What do they say? Perfection is the enemy of progress, right? So you can't make progress if you don't start. And it's interesting you said, because I have the same failure. Like, I remember I could recruit the heck out of people. They would love our vision. Chris and I both, we were like, let's go. But they would get on the team and they'd be like, where do we go? What do we do? And it was like we had a ball field, but there were no lines on it. Right? It was like, okay, so we just run around? I don't know. No, chase the ball. Okay. So they got a bunch of people chasing the ball and they don't know, delineate, you know, what to, so my question for you is how have you, how did you learn the specifics of processes? How did you learn that you needed a specific process?
Fail.
Fail.
And hire some people, you know, hire the right team, hire a consulting company, you know, to help you. I did that. I did that. And I will go to my grave thinking that's the best thing I've ever done in business. To this point, there might be something else that comes up.
Well, you paid for knowledge. You paid for knowledge.
I paid for it. I paid for, you know, the 4-year business program at, you know, whatever university that has the best business school, right? It probably costs that much. But, and if you can wrap your head around paying for that and getting that knowledge, it doesn't matter how you get it. You know, whether you go to school or you get a consultant or you hire the right business partner or you bring in the right partner or whatever the case may be, everybody's going to do it a different way. That's why I say it might happen to a company in 3 years or 20 years. They need that knowledge. It might take them 20 years to get, you know? But
well, I mean, you and I have talked about, to be totally transparent, you and I have talked about, you know, I had a service-based company, you have a service-based company, I have another service-based company in a different phase, in an earlier phase. But we can take our knowledge and our processes, and, you know, the open mic community is all about sharing and helping and adding value to business owners and aspiring business owners. So we're like, look, small business, you can take literally with these processes, what do we call it? Business in a box, right? We talk about taking our processes and giving it to the open mic community, offering it to them because, and the whole reason for that is because we know the value of having those processes. You know, again, full transparency, this Vine IT
Yeah.
and cybersecurity, our company, now we've doubled the size in revenue, quadrupled the profits in 2 years. Great, wonderful, awesome. We have a long ways to go with processes. We have great people. We have a long ways to go with processes.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I have experience with that, and I have people like yourself, and
Yeah.
hopefully, the open mic community can benefit from.
Well, I'll give you the playbook.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to tweak it.
You just got to tweak it
You know,
and
just-
implement it.
It's got pages in
Yeah.
there you'll use now, but you might use 10 years later.
That's exactly it. But you don't have to do it the hard way. Well, we're trying to help people not do it the hard way.
Well, the problem is, if you don't know that there needs to be a process, how do you develop the process?
Yeah,
If
that's
you don't,
great, yeah.
I mean, as somebody that feels like they're a good electrician, or they can be good at this and they can be good at that, you know, I'm not the best, but I know if I engage
Yeah.
myself, I can be pretty good at it. How do you put that on paper to
Yep.
give? How do you train somebody else on that?
Yep.
You know, and if you don't have a process set in place for a new position, you know,
Yep.
we just implemented a new position between our foreman in the field running the job and our project manager running the job, you know, from an office perspective,
Okay,
overseeing.
okay.
We put in a superintendent,
Okay.
right? Very good foreman.
Yep.
He's been in the industry for 35 years,
Yep.
you know, exactly what we do. Great person, great work ethic. He's never been a superintendent. We've never had a superintendent.
Right.
We're 6 months into this, still trying to figure out exactly what to do. We had a 4-hour meeting yesterday at our office with him and our project managers, just trying to figure out the starting point and the stopping point from each position.
Interesting.
Very important. Okay, figure that out with a process. You know, this
Yep.
is what you're going to do, and this is how
Yep.
you're going to do it. It's like it's a smooth running machine. It's like, okay, here's my process for this. This is my job to do here. This is your process for the same thing. This is where I stop, and this is where you pick it up,
Right.
right? And you got to have that process in place.
Yeah.
How do you bring people on and show
Yeah.
them this?
Yep.
You're not doing it anymore. You may be able to figure it out as you go through it,
Right.
and what to do.
It is interesting too, because there is in an organic growth company, you can include and should include
Yeah.
your team in building the processes,
Yeah.
right?
Always.
I mean, I
Always.
was talking to Liam and a new guy, Taylor, coming onto our team. And I told him, I go, fast forward Vine IT, fast forward our small business, 5 years, okay,
Yeah.
3 years even, but let's say 5 years. We're going to hire people who are going to operate inside the processes that you guys built, that
Yes.
we built together.
Yes.
And just so you know, they're never going to say thank you because they don't get it.
No.
But I'm telling you, thank you.
Yeah.
You're building a platform. We are
Yeah.
building a platform together. That process of the process of building processes
Is a process.
It is a process.
It's a big one,
Yeah.
but it never stops.
Right.
It never stops.
Right.
You know, the largest companies in the world
Yeah.
today go
Yeah.
through changes,
Totally.
and they go and you have to be flexible with it. But you still,
Yeah.
they could still probably dumb it down to certain items they need and,
Yeah.
and what they do and how they get started with it. You
Yeah.
know, and say the same thing. Just go use it. This is what we have for now.
Yeah.
You know, we'll adjust it over time for the needs and implement new processes to the process.
Yeah.
You know?
and there is a part of, right. So there is a part of what we the processes that we put in place where I feel like you need to leave 20 or 30% for the human aspect.
Yeah.
The human is a part of the person is a part of the whole process of implementing it, but I think it's really important for them to put their flair on it,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
maybe you put someone new in the position and they have a new flair.
Yeah.
70%, 80% of that is still the same process.
Yeah.
But now they're putting their own flair on it and their
Yeah.
own personality in it.
It's like I take a golfer, right?
Mhm.
They practice, they go
Yep.
to the range, and they putt and they putt and they putt. Same thing. It's like getting your body in this.
Yeah.
They're building a process
Muscle
and
memory,
muscle
yep.
memory,
Yep.
right? So when they're nervous and they got that,
Yeah.
they're at Augusta to win a Masters. They're not nervous. They're nervous about the putt if I make it or if I don't, but they're not nervous. Am I doing this the right
Right.
way? Right.
Right.
So in the heat of the moment,
Yep.
when business is crazy and
Yeah.
your phone's ringing off the wall and you're getting pulled 1,000 different directions by your people,
Yeah.
that project manager has a process for everything he does, right?
Right.
And to reinforce that as long as they stick to the process, on these items, they'll never go too far off. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, you're going to have
Yeah.
emergencies that come up and stuff like that. But if you can have a process for that person and the person that they're managing, and everybody's following their own process,
Yep.
it eliminates and minimizes those emergencies that do come up, the fire drills, right?
Yep.
I need this right now. I need another guy on my job next week. It's Friday. You know what I mean? You didn't go through the process of planning ahead.
Yep.
Right? You didn't fill out the form, the 3-week look ahead that we have that says, I need 5 guys this week, 6 guys next week, 7 guys the week after that. Okay? If he does his job and fills that out properly,
Right.
he gets it to us, right? That process.
Yep.
We take that process and give it to our staffing. You know, it goes in our staffing meeting, and we say, okay, next week, where are we going to find this guy? Do we have him on another job that's scaling down, right? Do we can move over there? Or, hey, HR, we need another person. We need to hire somebody. Okay, what level? Just a regular electrician. You know, here's the requirements that he needs to have, and this is where he's going.
Right.
It started with a process. Fill out your forms, fill out your reports. Nobody wants to do it when it's busy,
Yep.
but you know those are the only things that are going to save you to get through it.
It's discipline, right?
Yeah.
And you have to see the value of implementing it and doing that discipline. And you are saying, I think we're both saying that you're a more mature company, right? Like you have millions in revenue, you have overhead, support, help.
Yeah.
You have these processes. And it would be easy for me as a small business owner, for someone that has 3 employees, to say, hey man, yeah, that's cool, but I don't have an office person, or I don't, I only have 2 folks in the field. I could just talk to them.
You can.
But is there still value in having processes when you're that small?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously scaled down.
Yep.
You don't have all those little things.
Yep.
If you're the guy running the job, you're not feeling it, and you're the person staffing it and hiring it and doing this. You don't need that 3-week look ahead that we use, or whatever you want to call it, to get to that staffing need.
Right.
You know it.
Right.
You're going to interview the person. You're going to advertise for the person. So, but still, where do you advertise? How do you do that?
Right.
Where's not the resume, but the job description?
Yep.
Is that
Love it.
look good, right?
Yeah.
How do you put the wrong thing out there? You're not going to get the right person,
Yeah.
right? All those things can
Yeah.
happen without the process. So yes, you do need it. And, if you're by yourself, there's still a process,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Opening mail, getting a check. What do you do with it?
What do you do next?
What do you do next?
Right.
As simple as that sounds, well, it's like, oh, you put it in the bank. Well, if you have an invoice to tie it to, right? Do you have an estimate to tie it to?
Yeah.
You got to get that in your accounting system, QuickBooks, whatever it may be. And then it goes in your envelope. That's a process. So if you can get all that stuff down, it doesn't have to be some long, drawn-out thing.
Right.
It could be very simple. Because one day when you hire that first accounting person, you can say,
Hand it to 'em.
this is what we do, and this is how we do it.
Right. Put your 20% flair
Yeah.
on it. And can you improve it, right? Yeah.
Start with this.
Yep.
Make adjustments to make it better.
Yeah, let me
make
know
it
what you
fit
come
you.
up with. Yeah, I love it.
It's yours.
I
This
love
is your
it.
baby. This is your zone.
I love
you know?
it. I love it. I mean, there is no large company. I'm talking beyond us as small business owners, even in the tens of millions of revenue. There's no large businesses that don't have processes. So So I'm going to the extreme. So and there are a lot of really small, kind of micro businesses that want to grow. Maybe not to be that big, but they want to grow. And if you look at the 2 extremes, that is a big difference. Is the fact that they have processes. So
Well, and to jump in on that is a lot of those people. It's just like the people that won't start, right? Once they started, they might look at the large company and go, "Oh God, I can't do that.
Right.
How do they do that? They got this person." If I just had the people, right? They think the people that they have made it all and created it all. They didn't. There's somebody else out there already did it, right? They had the playbook. They hired the right person for that position and set a platform for them.
Yep.
And that's it. And that's how they do it.
Yep.
So for that person that has that does answer the phone and does the work and is looking for that right person to hire to answer the phone and do accounting in the office, so they can go out and either sell or even do the work. Whatever they want to do, whatever they choose to do is fine. But how are you going to train that person? How are you going to get your training out of your head into that person efficiently, so you can go work, so you can go do your thing, or you can go find the next person for the other position? And how are they going to do it? You've got to have that platform ready to go.